Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I have recently uploaded the flip through of this journal, and I also posted the video in a couple of Facebook junk journal groups, and I got a lot of questions on how I did certain things. So I figured I'll just film another slower flip through and just go into more detail and explain how I did stuff, where I got different things for my journal, and maybe that'll answer some future questions. Okay, I apologize if you hear the dehumidifier in the background. My craft room is in the basement, and we had some water come in last night, because we had a really bad big storm, and I don't know where the water came in, but it's there, and yeah, so we need to get the humidity out because we store our firewood down here. Anyway, let's move on. First thing I want to talk about is the cover. Initially I made a collage with just paper scraps, and I wanted it to look like a patchwork blanket. So I usually make collages like this, where I have like little pieces and scrap, like for my scrap bin. However, with this one, because I wanted to stitch around all these different pieces, I made sure I used bigger scraps and pieces. So they're like not round, they just like have straight edges. And I think it turned out pretty well. I glued all the paper on a newsprint paper. I have a whole stack of them, and then I cut the piece that I like best to 9 by 14 inches. So this is 6 inches, a 2-inch spine, that's 8, and then another 6 inches, so it's 14. And then I stitched it on my sewing machine. However, it was a little tricky because unlike fabric that is more flexible, I don't know the right word, with paper you don't want to tear it or crinkle it. So I actually had to like roll up some corner to corner and then get it through the sewing machine to make sure I can actually stitch all these images. It took a while, but I'm pretty happy with the way it turned out. So yeah, anyway, that was lots of fun. The inside of the cover, I used a cardstock, and I covered it with pages from, hold on, my old Sears catalog, and I've showed this before in other videos. This is a let's see. So the original was from 1897, but this is a where does it say? Hold on, sorry. A 1968 reprint. So it's still pretty old. And you can find it like on eBay or used bookstores online. And I think I got mine on Amazon. And they're not very expensive. A few dollars. Anyway, so I used those pages as the inside cover. Then I used a lot of coffee stain paper. I also tea stain paper, but with coffee it gets darker, and I really like this because I like to make patterned coffee stain paper. And then I have on all 3 signatures, I have, on the first page I sewed on those tabs, and I actually made those with a tab punch. I bought this a while ago, and this was the first time I actually used it. So I'm trying to use all the things I have, and I thought that's really cute. Okay, and then I used some old book pages. This one, for example, was from an old kids dictionary that I found at a yard sale for like $1, and I think the previous owner wrote some stuff in it with a pencil, but I don't care. And this is from 1955. Has nice yellow pages. And then I just used some of the writing paper. I found a big 9 by 11 pad at Hobby Lobby actually. I looked at Walmart, but I didn't find the bigger one, and that's a better quality. So if you are looking for it, try Hobby Lobby. And then I just glued some book pages or illustrations from book pages. I have a whole bunch of field guides that I use for my junk journals. Some more of the Sears catalog. And then, like, if you have pages that are kind of boring, but you don't want to cover the whole pages, if you have any pictures that are like in the middle of a book page, on the, on the bottom, not on the corner, you can just cut it out or rip it, tear it out, and then glue it in the middle. I think that's really, really neat. And then I made a belly band that's just was left over from a collage that I made. And I have those seam bindings. I think I got one from Joann's, like in the clearance aisle, and then I got these from a different store that's just that's only in Maine, and they're pretty inexpensive. And then I just used this nice leaf stitch on my sewing machine to add some interest. And then I like to stick postcards under my belly bands, and these postcards, hold on, I got a whole stack of stuff next to me on the floor that I want to show. These postcards that I use actually come from this collection. I think it's like 100 postcards, and I got this from for Christmas, and it's from, oh, I cut this one off. It's from Amazon. I think it's like $15. I don't remember, but I didn't pay anything because it was a Christmas present, and I just love those illustrations. So sometimes I just fussy cut them out, or I tear out the bird, or I just use the whole postcard, and I just stitched around it and put some old postage stamps. If you have any, you can use those on those postcards because it just adds something cool, like interest. So yeah. All right, and then this thing, I actually made a video, and I'm going to link to that. It's made from an envelope. It's 4 3/4 by 11 inches, those yellow envelopes, and all I did was take them, fold in half, and then I sewed them in there. But first I glued book pages and some lace on them, and then I made so a tuck spot. This is also left over. Oops, sorry, I'm not in the frame. This is also a leftover from a collage. So if you cut up your collages, you don't necessarily you don't have to just cut it up into tags or journaling cards. You can also make belly bands and those tuck spots. And then I just embellish it with a flower and some little trim, lace trim. And then this is also from a collage, and then on the back, so you can write on it, I glued on a tea-stained index card. Tea stain, I use black tea, and it gives like this nice yellowish tone, whereas the coffee does the brown. And I just love the yellow. It's like warm and just yummy. And then excuse me, I just stitched around it, and I'm still practicing on how to stitch around corners. Okay, and then because it's an envelope, it's open at the top, and then you can just tuck in a little journaling card. I also got asked about these tabbed cards, and I also showed them in a haul. I think I got this stack for $1 from Goodwill. I don't know what they were used for, maybe for some index cards, I don't know, but I love everything that has a tab on it, so I bought those, and I found many ways to use them, including journaling cards. This is just a tea-stained writing paper, and I just glue it on, cut it out, put a little piece of a book page, and tuck it in here. And I like using the tabbed cards because the envelope it's not straight, the opening, so you can still see the tab and grab it on the tab. Okay, then I'll just have some washi tape from Holtz, and then I have some paper maps from Maine, and they're actually not old. I just teased or coffee dyed them to make it look old. Then I also have a whole bunch of pages of these things. And again, at Goodwill, I found so many of these work basket little magazines, and they're all like from the 50s and 60s, and they were like, they sold 4 for $1, and I was so excited. I bought a bunch of them, but I wish I would have bought, oh, it's raining again. I hope the rain doesn't come back in the basement. I wish I would have bought all of them because I love reading them. Like their ads are just so funny, and I don't know, it's just really cool to see what people did and liked. I like this one in the 50s. So yeah, with these, instead of just tearing the pages out, you can actually open the, wow, these are really rusty, the little staples, and then you have the double page, and then you can just stitch it into your journal. You don't have to like tape them together. What else? Oh yeah, my pocket. I love making shaker pockets. So this one, I just used a piece of vellum, folded in half, and then I stitched around it. And before I stitched it, before I closed it on the last side, I stuffed in a whole bunch of sequins, and then I glued it onto my page as a pocket, so you can actually see through, but you also can play with all the sequins, and it makes a nice noise. And I try to match the colors of the card with the, well, red, blue, and gold, red, blue, and yellow. Once again, this is a card with the tab that I got from Goodwill. And then I just put some lined paper on the back, and this comes from came from a children's book. Okay, and then I found this. I actually wanted to put this in a different journal, and it was on my desk forever. It's like, wait a minute, it actually fits in here. So I just used it and stuck it in the little pocket here that I made from lace, because I have a ton of lace. I also filmed a haul a long time ago. I got 2 gigantic bags full of lace at a yard sale. One was like $2 and $1 and one was $5. So it's really worth checking out all the local yard sales, because you never know, especially if the yard sale is organized by older people. They many times have some awesome stuff. Now the heater's coming on. Wow. Okay, coffee dyed paper. And then on some pages, when they're boring, I just use some stencils to add some interest. More maps, and then on some pages I just stitched some lace. Okay, and this is the opposite side of the envelope, and here I just I glued on a piece of a book page, or kid's book page that I cut out, and then I just added another card that I made from a collage, and I have another journaling card. Okay, and then here's another tuck spot, and I made this tag, and I just put a index card on the back, and this is actually an old newspaper from 1823 that I got at an estate sale, and I just stamped the octopus on it. And I love making those whole enforcer thingies. Let's see if I can find my... I just dropped it. What did I do with it? Oh, it's under my desk. I'm using this punch, and someone on, was it on Facebook, I think, in one of the Facebook groups, pointed out, because when you punch, you get like the ring, but I didn't know where the little leftover piece went. You can actually, if you have this punch, you can actually open it back here, and then they come, like the confetti comes out on the back. So that's good to know, because at some point they might clog up your punch and then you can't use them anymore. Okay, never mind. That was not really part of my planned video. So, and again, this is just leftover from a collage. Here I just used a piece of my lace ribbon, and I stitched on a belly band, and I just have this yummy coffee dyed writing paper, and it still smells like coffee. Actually, I like, that's fine. And just some white paper, and then here from my kids books pages, I have a whole bunch of kids books from the 50s. I also found those at a yard sale, and I was very surprised because they sold them for like $2, and they're so beautiful. Oh my gosh. I was very excited when I found them. So I just took a page and cut out the image, and then I, with a hole, like an inch hole punch, I just made this little thing so you can, it looks like more like a pocket than if it was straight. And another journaling card. And for this one, I used this kind of hole punch. It's for like badges. Makes those long holes. And then you can put a ribbon through that's actually wide. And I just used my tiny attacher from Tim Holtz and stapled it to the card. Okay, so that was the first signature. This book has 3 signature total. And then here's just another picture or illustration from a book page. And I tore it out and I glued it on a piece of brown craft cardstock. And I only glued 2 sides, so it's like this little corner pocket. And then I made this tag actually from a box from my hair dye. I dyed my hair the other night. And I was like, wait a minute, I can use the box. So there you go, I used the box. Put some more of the old newspaper on it and punched a hole and stamped it. Some more tea stained paper. This is just a paper that I have from a scrapbook pad. And then this is a card from a card game that I bought at Goodwill. And then on the other side, I have these postcards, and I can grab it, like the bird postcards. The botanicals also come in a box of 100. Yep, also from Amazon. Whoops. And they have some really beautiful ones. I love this one. And it was also a Christmas present. So if you don't want to spend 15 bucks, just put it on your wish list on Amazon, and this will last a long time. I've used it in a lot of journals. And again, I just stitched around it, used some old airmail sticker and stamp, and you can journal on it. And then I'm just going to stick it through and back here. And I like using either vellum or lace for my tuck spots or pockets, so you can still see what's in it, because I love the picture and I don't want to hide it when you stick it in a pocket. Okay, some more paper, and then I have some nice fabric. Let's see if I can find the whole. I love everything mail related, and I found this fabric that has stamps, flower stamps, and I just cut out like single stamps or 2, and then I just stick them on the page because I thought that looked really nice, and it adds a different texture. I love, like, when you touch stuff, I love feeling the different textures from paper to lace to cardstock and vellum. And then just some digital prints that I have. Oh yeah, and then I got lots of questions about these little things. I make those pockets from those little cheap photo albums you can buy everywhere. And I found this one for 25 cents on clearance at Walmart. I was like, I can do something with it. And I sure can, because I just take those out and then I sew them into my journal. And then this is a digital image that I purchased, and I just printed it, or it actually was a leftover, and then I just put some writing paper on the back with a stamp, and there you go, you have a journaling card. I'm trying to use up my leftovers from other projects so I can empty my scrap bin. And then this one is just from an old map that I bought off eBay. It was just, I actually thought this was, when I saw the picture, was gonna be bigger, but it's just a little teeny tiny. The glove compartment should have tipped me off. Yeah, anyway, so I took a page out of this and just made a journaling card, because I have a whole bunch of old postcards that I don't like or don't use. So rather than throwing them away, you can just stick something on the front, and voila, you get a journaling card. And I got the idea from Pam at the Paper Outpost, because she turned some old postcards into new journaling cards or new postcards, which was really cool. I have Tim Holtz fabric tape. This is actually the first time I ever used it. I've had it for quite a while, so I just stuck it on there just to add a little bit, like a border or something. And then here I have a whole bunch of pictures that I got from an estate sale, and in the middle of my signatures I tend to just tie in some little charms. And because I have the paper clip here, I put in an old book page to add some color. And I also figured I'm probably not going to journal in my book, but if I ever give my books away or my journals away, people can glue pictures and stuff on the pages that they can't write on, because you can't really write on a book page, but you can glue something on it or just leave them blank. Okay, and then here's the other side of the little pocket, and these are digitals that I printed out. And oh no, it's coming off. I gotta glue this back on. An estate sale I went to a couple months ago, I found this little baggie, and it was $4, and I didn't want any of the stuff except for the measuring tape, because it's very old. So I bought the whole thing just because of this, and I love it. It's so cool. So this is the first time I used this in a project, and I just cut a piece off because it feels really cool. And I mean, there's some other things I probably can use. Some old needles. Actually, this one is really cool. So yeah, definitely worth the $4 for me. Okay, and I thought this looks like sewing stuff, so I figured I'll just glue that on this little pocket. This is just a little notary seal that I got from an estate sale 2 weeks ago. And I also got a load of these postcards. They're like from the 70s. If anyone wants old postcards of the Capitol in Augusta, Maine, I have some. Just let me know. I'll send you some. I just distressed it has those little, has the corners or the edges like this. I don't know if you can tell, but I just distressed it with the distress ink a little bit, so it looks even older. And yeah, I think it's from the 70s. So just stuck it in there. And another book page image. And then here I have like this ribbon. Oh, it's on the floor. Okay, this came from Walmart and it was on clearance, and it has the wire in it, but I don't like that. So what you can do, sorry, I gotta roll this up. When you cut off a piece, you can just do this, and then you can pull out the wire. You don't have to use the wire. That's what I use, or how I use it. And then I have another ribbon, and I just stitch those two together with the little leaf stitch. And then I glued some lace on it, and voila, you got a pocket. Good way to use up bigger ribbons. And then I just made this little booklet from those little printouts that I had that I never used, and then just put some leftover paper in it, stitch it in there, and have a mini journal in a journal. This one is an envelope. Where did I get that? I think it came also from an estate sale. It was like this tiny envelope that I didn't use, so I just covered it with Tim Holtz paper, and it made it really thick, so it's really sturdy. And then I just stuck in a whole bunch of tags. You can put little secret notes in there too. I just wanted to fill it with something. And then decorated it, and then you just put the flap over the page. And so it stays in there. You can just put a paper clip on it. It's not the prettiest paper clip. You can probably decorate a paper clip, but I didn't. So, and then I really like this page. It came from like the inside cover of one of the kids' books, but it was cut off here, so I figured I'll just make them come in for the side of the page. Adds a nice touch of color. I also got asked about these cards. I talked about those in my previous haul video. I went to Goodwill the other day and found this old card game from the 1950s, and it's just like a math card game with problems and answers, and has this cute little girl on the back. So even though you can't really journal on these, I just thought they're a nice addition to the journal. And whoever gets this journal, I might not even give it away or sell it, can just take those out and do something else with them, or put something else in this. And this is a pocket that I made with a little glassine bag. I ordered a whole bunch from Amazon. And yeah, because like I said earlier, I like when my pockets are transparent so you can actually see what's in them, because you don't want to hide pretty pictures or illustrations or whatever artwork you're putting in there. Okay, that was the second, there's some glue on it. Second signature, and that's the last one, third one. And here I had a page that had just a very short story or poem, and I just stuck it on there on this page with washi tape, so you can open it. You could put other paper in here and write stuff on it, or glue pictures on there. And then I also have a few little golden books, and I took one apart that I'm turning into a journal, and there were some pages left, so I just used them in here. The wiggly tooth, that's cute. It's a lot of toothpaste. It looks more like mustard. Yeah, and on every other page that was pretty empty, I just put some stamp on it to make it a little more interesting. I have a bunch of these, I don't know if they're called flashcards. They just have like one word on them, so I'm not sure what they were used for, but I also got those at Goodwill, and I just sewed on a little bit of lace because it just looked boring. And on the back I glued on some writing paper and stuck it in one of those corner pockets or corner tucks. Some old music paper. I tea stained this one. I don't really like this, so I'm trying to use it up. And then here's another one of those envelopes, but I didn't add a pocket here. I just added the pocket up here. It's from a book page, and some more writing space. More fabric. And this is one of my favorite pockets. It's just different textures: cardstock, scrapbook paper, burlap, old book page, glassine, lace, and birds from a book, and then some embroidery floss. And I just glued everything together and stuck it on there, and you have a nice big pocket. And then I just have a tag that I stamped on with a big stamp. Some scrapbook paper, and then I have an old book with I think it's the first version of Strawberry Shortcake. That's not my favorite. My favorite is the one from the 80s. This one is even older, I think. And it was bigger than I thought. I got that like from, what is it from? Oh, 1980. So that was like the very first one. It has pretty big images, so I'm not sure what to do with them, because my journals are not that big. So I just tore that out and, come on, go back there, and glued it into the middle of the signature. So I have two pockets. This one is a tag I made, and I actually made it from some cardstock that I had. And I folded it in half and then cut out the tag shape, stuck the old 1923 newspaper on it and stamped on it, and now I can write on it. I didn't put a a ribbon or thread on it, because if I tied it on there, I wouldn't be able to open it. I was like, that wouldn't work, so I left it like this. And then this here is just an envelope. That's a weird envelope. I've never seen envelopes like this. Also Goodwill for $1.20, 20 blue lined paper envelopes, and I'm like, why not use it in here? Because when you buy stuff, you should also use it. And then this is from a book page, and because I like the color, I try to match it with this little ribbon or seam binding, and then this is just a sideways journaling card. And there's another postcard, and then I have a whole bunch of these little paper clips that are letters. So I try to add different things, because the other book clips paper clips I have are these big ones, and then the normal small ones, the regular ones, and then I try to use different things. And there's the other half of my envelope pocket, some scrapbook paper, and this is this dotted paper for, I think, bullet journaling? I don't know. And then this one actually came from a little, I think, is it a table runner? I don't know. I bought at a yard sale, and I love it because those are like little flowers. So I just cut out those little flowers and glue them into my journals, and it just adds a little dimension and interest and texture. And then I have a whole bunch. Oh yeah, those are the same. I think those are the same, like as the bird card. Yep. Sorry. These are from the same game, but I glued them on tags and cut them out. So I've got cows and dogs, and then I have this little pocket, and I'm just gonna stick those in here and use the seam binding as a ribbon. Some washi tape, some more book pages, and then the last one, this is from another book page, and I stuck that on an old postcard that I didn't like. Corner pocket with a little flower. And then I just put my little handmade thing on there, and that's the whole journal. Did I forget anything? I don't think so. If you have any other questions, you can leave me a comment. It would be great if you would subscribe to my channel, because I have so many ideas for new videos, and I also want to follow you guys, so I need to know who you are if you watch my channel. And I'll talk to you next time. Thanks so much for watching. Bye guys.